Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Derek and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I use my MPC One and my hardware keyboards together. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I think a lot of times when people think about the MPC One, they simply think about it for beat makers, you know, someone making a beat. And in reality, if you go online and you look at how the MPC is being used, the overwhelming majority of the videos are showing somebody actually just making some sort of a beat or, you know, sampling something from a record or music or something like that. And then they're chopping those samples up, they're applying them to the pads, and they're making a beat that way. And of course, the MPC excels at that kind of thing. It's a great sampler and so on and so forth. But one of the things that I think is often overlooked is the actual sequencer inside of this unit. If you are looking to maybe get away from your laptop and using a DAW and stuff like that, I think that the MPC One could be a great option for you, or any of the MPCs really, because they all have the same operating system. The sequencer inside the MPC is very, very powerful. And I just want to show you guys how you can use it in some ways that a lot of people aren't necessarily using it that way. Now, of course, there are some people, of course, I've seen it, but this is the way I use the MPC One. I just want to show you guys because the sequencer in my MPC, I feel, is more powerful and more intuitive than the sequencers that are in my hardware keyboards. So there's a lot of limitations on the hardware sequencer in the Montage. There are a lot of limitations, or I should say the Core Chronos is not as intuitive as far as using the sequencer. It's very powerful, but I still like the MPC sequencer better, and I'll explain a little bit more as we get further into it. I've got a Korg M50. The MPC is better than the Korg M50. I have a, what else do I have laying around here? I have a Modix. The sequencer is the same as the Montage. The MPC One blows that out of the water. I've got a MC707. The MPC One blows that out of the water. So I just want to just show you guys how I use it. Now, when I say blows it out of the water, I'm talking about specifically for my workflow and what I'm going to be doing today. So let's go ahead and let's start using the MPC. Let's record something here. I'm going to, first thing I need to select is my BPM on my MPC. I've got an empty project here set up. And a project is made up of sequences, tracks, and programs. So every single project can have up to 128 sequences per project. And you can have 128 MIDI tracks per project as well. So let's go ahead and let's get something recorded. I'm just going to type in my BPM here. I'm just going to tap this button. And we're going to make it a 90 BPM. And just say do it. Now that's set up for 90, and I'm going to set up, this is the beginning, is just going to be a 4-bar loop. Now, you can record linear in a linear fashion if you want to in the MPC, because some people think, well, it's just a pattern-based situation, but you can actually record in a linear fashion. So for instance, if I click on the bars here, just tap this button, I can go all the way up to 999 bars if I wanted to. So in fact, it's just turn the loop. This, by hitting this, you turn the loop off so it won't actually loop. So I could have a sequence that literally goes for 999 measures if I wanted to, you know, at 120 BPM. That's what, a 33-minute song. So yes, you can definitely record in a linear fashion if you want to, but for now we're going to be doing 4 because I do want it to actually loop, but you don't have to. If I was just, you know, recording a jazz piece or something like that and I just wanted to play straight through, I could actually do that if I wanted to. And I saw a complaint about the new Phantom by Roland that's come out. I saw it on a forum or a Facebook online group, and somebody was complaining about the sequencer because the sequencer is a pattern sequencer and it limits you to 32 bar loops. You can't do anything longer than that, and you can't record in a linear fashion. And somebody said on the forum or on the group, you know, I'm tired of this MPC style of workflow. I would just want a regular linear sequencer. Well, in the MPC, you actually can record in a linear fashion. So it doesn't limit you to 32 bars or 64 bars or 100 bars. The Montage limits you to I think it's 256 bars before it loops, and then then it's going to loop automatically. But again, you get 256 bars. You can get a whole song in as long as it's not longer than 256 measures, and it never loops. So you can record in a linear fashion in both of these boards, but I mean in both of these units. But this specifically, you're just shy of 1,000 measures, so you can certainly record linearly. But we're going to do just 4 bars right now, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit MIDI because I wanted to set up a MIDI track because I'm going to be using this to trigger the montage. And so I'm just going to set up for number 1, and right now I have a guitar set up on the Montage, but I'm actually going to use the arpeggiator for the first track. So let me come over here and select the guitar track. I'm going to hit edit, and then I'm going to come down to where it says arpeggio, and I'm going to go into individual. And I'm going to select an arpeggio here, category search. And I'm going through this kind of fast. I know it. It's not really a tutorial. I'm just kind of showing you guys my workflow. And we're just going to pick a modern, and let's listen to some of these here. Okay. Perfect, that'll work. Hit enter, escape now. That's what we're going to record. So I'm going to come over here, 90 BPM. Let me just hit my tempo here. I'm not sure why it's not synced, but I'm going to make this 90 as well. Done. Exit. Perfect. And now we're just going to hit record and go. Now I'm just going to turn it on down here so I can hear it. All right, so the reason why it sounds like that, because I have the time correction on the MPC, so I've got to turn the time correction off so it doesn't do that. So I'm just going to hit undo, and so now that is no longer in there, I'm going to come to my time correction and just turn it off. All right, and then we're going to do it again. All right, perfect. But the thing I want to explain, one thing I want to talk about here is just the undo. You get multiple levels of undo, and I know for legacy MPC users that's probably not a big deal, but for people coming from a hardware keyboard, the Montage has one level of undo, and that's it. So you can't undo multiple levels back, and for a workflow that becomes really important. If you can only do undo one time. And it's the same with the Korg Kronos. The Korg Kronos you can only undo at one time. It's the same with the Korg M50. You can only do it one time. It was the same with the Triton Extreme. You can only do one level of undo. This has multiple levels of undo. So that's kind of a big deal. It really helps your workflow. And the MC707 made by Roland doesn't even have an undo button. So there's a reason why I like using the MPC. All right, so I got the time correction turned off. Let's start it. Let's do it again. All right, now let's turn this on so we can hear it. All right, perfect. That's what I wanted. So now I'm going to just come over here on my Montage, and I'm going to pick a different sound. I think we're going to go with drums next. So I'm just going to select the drum kit here. and hit enter. I'm going to turn off the keyboards on both of them. Excellent. And we're going to go to track number 2. And I'm going to select MIDI channel number 2. And with MIDI channel, so MIDI channel number 2 is my drums here. Let me just turn that keyboard off. Perfect. And now I'm ready to record some drums. But what I can also do, just to stay organized, I can come over here and I can actually name the track. So we're going to call this drums. Do it. Perfect. I'm going to come over here and just stay organized. And I'm going to call this guitar. All right, so that's guitar, and I've got drums. Track number 2. Let's get the drums recorded. Perfect. Good enough for what we're doing here. Now we're just going to select another track. We're just going to select another track there. And let's go to what are we going to record now? We'll do a bass. So I come over here and I'll select an electric bass. Perfect. Hit enter. Turn off the ARP. And I'm going to turn this to track number, or MIDI channel number 3. I can name it here, and we're going to call this bass. Do it. So now we got their bass. Perfect. Let's record. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Messed up, so we can just record again. 2, 3, 4. All right, let's listen to it. Let's listen to it, shall we? Right, so we have that recorded. Now, one of the things I really like about using the MPC is I can go over here to the grid view, just double click there, and I can see all of my, on the piano roll, I can see all of my notes and everything that I've recorded, and I can make some edits and changes and stuff like that. So this is really cool. Now this is something that you do not get on the Montage. There is no piano roll on the Korg Kronos. There is no piano roll on the Korg M50. There is no piano roll on the Roland MC707. There is a piano roll on the Phantom, the Roland Phantom. That's out. However, the Roland Phantom does limit you to a 32 track loop, so a 32 bar loop. So anyway, let's take a look at here. So right in here, I have an extra note right there that I don't actually want. So I just come in, I'm just going to select this note. I'm going to do select it like this, and then I can just, oops, don't need to select it. Let's just get rid of it. Hit delete. Now, that note's gone. All right, good enough for what we're doing. So love this piano roll. Absolutely love it. Love the pinch to zoom functionality, so on and so forth. Just makes it easy to do a lot of edits. There is no, like I said, there's no piano roll in the Chord Chronos. You can change your events and stuff like that. You can edit your events, but it's in a list, so it makes it really hard to do certain things. So anyway, let's go back to my control here. What do we got? Perfect. We're going to do track number 4 now, and I'm going to make that a brass. I'm going to come over here to my montage, and I'm going to select a brass. Now, which brass do I want? Let me just hit OK. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. And we can go select the brass that we want. I can come over here, click on ensemble. That'll work for what we're doing now. Just pick that one. Turn the ARP off. Turn the keyboard off. We got 4 ready to go, and let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of messed up. We're gonna undo it. Do it again. 2, 3, 4. On so we can hear it. All right. That part is sloppy. So we're just going to erase it. Go to the grid view, and there it is. That those little triplets there, and we're just going to pitch to zoom, make it bigger. This is so nice, and boom. All right, and we're going to just erase all of those. Perfect. Now we go back here. Right, now we need to go and do a little bit more erasing. Boom. Come over here. I'm just going to pinch the zoom, go down. I think that's yep, that's it there. So we're just going to select these 3. Hit the eraser tool. Select one. Boom. Now they should be gone. Now we're going to just do an overdub and record again. And just record that part. Perfect. We're going to do it again. Another overdub. Now we got that overdub. Let's one more overdub. All right. All right, let's go back into my grid view here, and there's just some notes. So these notes here are a little bit too quiet for me, so I didn't do it quite right. let's see. So we're gonna. All right. So I'm just going to zoom in here, and we're just gonna make these a little louder. And these notes here, and I can just go over here, and I can just, select them like so. Did I get them selected? No, let's try it again here. We'll just select those, and then I can hit velocity, and I'm going to turn those up. And see, when they turn red, I know they're, much higher velocity there. And select these as well. Finish the zoom. We'll turn these up. Just these. Just turn that one up. Velocity, and turn that one up as well. Now let's go take a look. All right. I'm going to adjust one more of these notes. One more of these things here. Let's actually just get bigger because I really want to do this one that's yellow. The one that's yellow is the one I really want to adjust. And this one, velocity. And then we can just turn it up. All right. Now we're going to do another one here. Let's come over to my main. I'm going to go over to track number 5, and I'm going to turn track number 5 to MIDI channel number 5. I'm going to come over here for 5, and we are going to select some sort of a piano or something. What'll it be? That's a lot of delay there. That'll work. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and select that one. You're just going to hit enter. Make sure the keyboard is off. And I'm just going to label it. Name it. We'll just call it Keys. Keys. Do it. And let's record. Here we go. I'll do that over again. Boom. Such perfectionist. Turn this on so we can hear it. All right, good. So that will suffice as my intro there. That'll suffice as an intro. And I could just come over here to my sequence. Come over here, and we could actually call it intro. And do it. So now that's my intro. That's in there. And now I can come to my sequence number 2. We're going to just turn this here. We're just going to do this to 90. I could have set a master so I didn't have to do this. Do it. So now it's 90. And my next sequence, I'm going to make it a 12-bar loop. And we're going to record track number 5. And I'm going to name it Keys, Keys. YS, just to be organized. And now let's record this. Don't like it? Try it again. It's not going to pick up that pickup note. Let's try it again. Okay, now let's just listen to it here. Got it on the wrong MIDI channel. We'll just change it to 5. Perfect. Now let's go grab some drums. Drums is going to be number 2. Once again, I'm going to name it just to stay organized. Of course, you could do all this later. Pick your own workflow. Drums. Pick drums. All right, now, and we're going to do MIDI channel number 2, and let's get to recording. All right, let's listen to it a little bit. Oh, that'll work for now. Didn't really like that fill and stuff at the end, but we're just doing something really quick here. So what I'm going to do now is I actually want to come over here and I'm going to choose number 17, track number 17, but I'm actually going to set it to MIDI channel number 2. So I'm going to use the same MIDI channel, the same drum channel, and we're going to call this here, we're going to call this percussion. All right, so we're going to call this percussion, and we're still going to record number 3. But now I can actually, we're still going to record track number 2, MIDI channel number 2. So we're still going to be on the same drum channel, but we actually have a different track for it. So let's go. Let's record some percussion here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we got the percussion on triggering MIDI track number 2 or MIDI channel number 2. But if I come in here into the grid, right, and look at it, the only thing that it has, let's come back here and let's just solo it. And come to my grid. So I literally have a separate track playing MIDI channel number 2. So everything can be split up that way. So if I wanted to just turn up just the tambourine, I can do that using this specific track, because this is going to be track number 17. I can get 128 tracks in per sequence, 128 tracks, and I can do it using, you know, the 16 MIDI channels on the Montage. So the reason why that's such a big deal is because, like, if I was recording just using the Montage, using the sequencer in the Montage, I really couldn't do that. I would have to use up another track. You only get 16 tracks. You get 16 tracks, 16 MIDI channels. This gives you 128 tracks. So that makes a big difference. So if I wanted to just modify this or change this, that's great. One of the things, the advantage of this is it has 128 tracks that you can use versus just 16, even though I would have to use the same 16 sounds, if that makes sense. So anyway, but it gives me versatility because I can literally split up the drum track if I wanted to. I could have one track be the bass drum, one track be the snare, one track be the, and I could, do all my editing and stuff of just the snare, of just the bass drum, of just in the MPC if I wanted to do it that way. Didn't do it that way this time, but I did want to just show that. Let's go back to my main, turn the solo off. All right, so let's continue now. Let me add some strings or something. So I'm going to come over here to number 6, and I'm going to choose a string. Ooh, ballad strings. Yeah, let's do ballad strings. Perfect. I'm going to turn this keyboard off here, and I'm going to come over here, and we're going to come to number 6. I'm going to change it to MIDI track number 6, and we're just going to name this strings. STRING. Yes, that's how you spell strings. Now what I want to do here. Okay, maybe not strings. Let's choose a different instrument. No big deal. Hit category search, and let's come in over to pads. Let me see. Analog pad. Perfect. Turn it down though. I'm gonna turn down this pad. Let's see if it sounds. That'll work. Something simple. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. perfect. Just a little something underneath there. That'll work for what we're doing. And I gotta add my bass. So we're gonna go to number 3 here, and I'm gonna hit bass, B-A-S-S. Again, do it. And we're going to select my bass on my montage, and we're going to make it channel number 3 here. And let's record the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can just name this sequence here, and we'll just name this verse, V-E-R-S-E, boom. So then that's going to be verse, just for now. That's cool. So now I have my sequence number 1. And sequence number 2. All right, perfect. So now I'm just going to go to another sequence here. We'll do sequence number 3, and I'm going to start with track number 5, which is going to be my keyboard, MIDI channel number 5. And we're just going to come over here. I'm going to hit 90. Boom, boom, boom. For that. And we're going to make this 12 bars as well. Number 1. All right, let's go. Let's chord 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that'll be good enough for now. And okay, cool. So that's recorded. Let's go to my drums real quick. We're just gonna select track number 2. We're gonna make this. I probably should name that piano or keys. Key-E-Y. Just showing you the real deal workflow here. And we're going to do drums. So we're going to do number 2. And I am going to name that as well. DRUMS. Do it. And we're going to train it to track number 2. Now let's record the drums. Ooh, messed up. Try it again. All right, cool. That's good enough. All right, excellent. Let's go to number 3. Let's record my bass. Gonna name it bass once again. And let's record the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't believe I messed up on that. Let's try that again. Let's actually turn this to track number 3. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what the problem is. 1, 2. Here we go. Ooh, got messed up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, give me some horns. Let's go brass. We're going to put the brass on number 4 again. And we're just going to name it brass. R-A-S-S. Boom. And this is number 4, MIDI track number 4. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't like it? Too much sustain pedal. See what it sounds like. So, honestly, I don't really like it, but but we're just doing kind of a demo here to show it. So we're just gonna call this bridge, right? BRIDGE. Boom, do it. Now what I can do is I can come into what's called next sequence, and I have all of my sequences right here. So this is my first sequence, my intro, my verse, and my bridge, or my intro, verse, and bridge, and I can trigger them by hitting these pads. So this is what I actually do for live performance. So here's intro. And if I just leave it, just like Ableton Live, it's just going to loop over and over again. But as soon as I hit the next pad, it will go to the next pad. Well, it will go to the next pad when that sequence is over. I can hit it early. Perfect. So now let me come over here and let me just grab, I'm just gonna bring this all the way over to doesn't matter, number 20. That's good. All right, now, and I'm going to just pick something here. Man, I really don't like that delay on that one. Let's see, acoustic piano, pop grand. I could always take the delay off, I know how. So I'll select something I want to play, and we'll do 7. Turn the keyboard on. All right. Just gonna turn it down a little bit. And we're just gonna go to my next sequence here, and this is how I do my live play. Here we go. I can let the intro play a little bit. There's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, 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 we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So that's how I do my live playing, and I could just switch to my songs as the way I want to. I could always, when a song is playing, I can hit next bar. I can hit the next sequence if I want to, and hit next bar, and it'll go over faster. So watch. So we go. That goes to the bridge, hit next bar. So if I needed to skip ahead faster, I could. I don't have to wait for the sequences to go all the way through. But when I'm performing and singing and whatnot, when I put in my sequences, I do them with that in mind. I know that, I do it with the phrases in mind, knowing so I can just hit the pads and don't really have to hit next bar very often. So those horns and stuff are too loud to me. Nothing is mixed, and I would actually go in if I was really doing it. I would go into the grid, I would go into my grid view, and I would be correcting a bunch of stuff and changing stuff and re-recording some stuff. But I just wanted to make a quick demo of how I work it. Now, here's the deal. Let's go back to that next sequence. So I could have, this here, right? And so I have three different things set up here on the pads. Literally, you could have 128 sequences. You could have 128 of them in here if you want to. So it's 128 different sequences I can do. So this would actually be named, what's going on intro, what's going on verse, what's going on bridge, and I would, put them all in there. Then I put my next songs in, you know what I mean? And I would just go through my performance this way. Now, let's say each song had, 8 different sequences in it. What is that? 16 different songs in one set that you could have loaded all at one time. And one of the limitations of the MPC is only has 2 gigabytes worth of the MPC only has 2 gigabytes worth of RAM. And so if you use all the sounds in the MPC and you're loading a bunch of samples and stuff like that, you start running out of RAM. It's hard to get in 16 songs for a performance all loaded up at once. But because I'm not actually loading up any samples, but all of the sound generation is coming from my keyboard, I can use the MIDI, the sequencer from here, and I can use the tone generator from here. And so I'm not then limited to that, that 2 gigabytes. And I could just set it up by using this as a tone generator. And I would name this, what's going on as a performance. And I would bring this performance up. And when it came time to play and sing, that's what I would do. And I would just go through all of my different, sequences all the way up to 128. Let's go back over here and let's go back to my sequence here. I can come over here. I can actually save my sequences, and that's what I do. See right here, it says save current sequence. So I could actually save, so you save this bridge, but it'd be a what's going on bridge, and save this, it'd be a what's going on verse, and what's going on intro. And I could save these sequences, and before a show, I actually go in and I load all of my sequences into a project in the order that I'm going to do the songs, and then I have them in my next sequence. And all I have to do is trigger these pads, and it goes where I want it to go. And if I don't hit another pad, it just loops around just like an Ableton Live. That way I can keep my laptop at home and use just my MPC. Now, one other quick thing I want to show you, because we've been just using the keyboard here. But if I want to, track 10 is unused, track 9 is unused. We'll just go to track number 16, 17, 18. We'll just go to track number 18. Now, if I want to, I don't have to use the MIDI track and come over here, and I can actually then hit my browse button, and I can search different things that I want to use in the MPC. So I suppose I wanted to load that up. So now that's loaded up to track 18. So if I wanted to, let's go here and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, of course, I would never really do that, musically speaking. But what I'm saying is you can use the samples in here in conjunction with your hardware as well. But I don't have to do all the heavy lifting in the MPC, so I can just load a few samples. And normally what I do is if I have some vocal background tracks or something like that that I want to do that, you know, come in at certain parts of the song or whatever, I will just load a few small, you know, clips of, you know, some background vocals or something like that that doesn't take up a whole lot of RAM, and I will use that with the MPC in conjunction with this. So I have my audio samples that I can use and audio that I can record, plus all the MIDI stuff in my keyboards. So I get the best of both worlds. I get all the editing and all the, you know, complexity, the grid, the pinch to zoom, and all that kind of stuff, the multiple levels of undo, and so on and so forth. You can do like note repeat and stuff. Even with this, let's see, let's go to my drums here. I can do this. Let's go here, drums. I can use, you know, the note repeat and stuff from the MPC using my keyboard. So I can take advantage of this and take advantage of this. All the sounds and stuff in here, I can take advantage of this so that I can literally load up an entire show, an entire set, and be ready to go. And I can just hit the pads. And the thing I love about these pads is they're big. So, you know, when you're playing live and you need to hit them while you're singing, it's really easy to do. So I know this video was long, but I just wanted to show you the workflow that I use when it comes to the MPC, when it comes to the Montage or the Kronos or whatever it is that I'm using. And this is how I use my my MPC One in live performance. I don't just use it to trigger some, you know, simple like drum tracks and stuff like that. I actually use it for like all of my backing tracks and stuff like that. It just trigger the MIDI in my hardware keyboards. And the cool thing about it is when I have a bunch of different sequences and stuff loaded up and I come in here and look at my usage, I'm not using hardly any RAM because there's no samples loaded, and just triggering, you know, having MIDI data in here uses virtually no space at all in the RAM. And so I can use that, what's left over from my RAM, for like little small backing tracks and little small audio stuff like that, and I never have to worry about running out of space. So anyway, I thank you so much for sticking with me this long. If you like in-depth videos like this and tutorials and reviews and stuff like that on gear, I strongly suggest that you like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I am always uploading new stuff. Thank you guys once again, and I will see you guys on the next video.